warg mounts in the distance, and by the sounds, they seem to be approaching. Storm Riders, what would you like to do? Storm Chasers, Storm Riders. Storm Chasers, what would you like to do?
So can we tell which direction they're coming from?
Give me a perception check. The howling of the wind from the actual storm is confusing you a bit, Fenthwick. But Baladin, you realize he's not wrong, as they are coming from multiple directions. The north and the south. To your west is the grove.
A broken clock is right twice a day, and Finthwick happened to also be pointing in the other direction they're coming from. Oh, and you just see how exhausted and weary Belladon is. Okay, then.
With the 24 also, Baladin, you realize that while they won't be upon you in seconds, you have probably maybe a few minutes at best.
Drink potions if you can. We have only a few minutes.
Can we go back into the temple? Who has that wand that finds the way?
Yeah, I can use it.
I'm gonna drink my single potion.
Oh, didn't look after that.
Sorry? What was that?
Yeah, what did you say, Jay?
I was wondering how Belladin looked after that, and then I saw it for myself.
Well, I went from 2 to 12.
Yeah. Cor will see you pull out that potion and then reach into his bag and pull out 2 more and look down at them and look up at you. And then he'll hand them over.
No, oh, he are they just regular healing potions?
They are regular. Yeah, one of them is.
He takes the regular healing potion and hands you back the other one, and drinks the regular one.
He
Alright.
turns and offers the other to Hal.
There you go. That might be a good idea.
I have one. And Hal pulls up big ass potion out of his pack. I have one. But we should see if we can go back to the Oracle's lair temple.
Yeah, you guys aren't far from the grove. You walked out, you were teleported from the temple to the edge of the tree. You can look back and you see now that the magical essence of the storm has died down, you can see the edge of the tree line to your west.
I thought it was still snowing crazy.
It is still snowing, but it's not whiteout conditions like it was when you were fighting.
Head back towards the tree line, at the very least.
Might be a good idea.
Poppy will drink a potion if you guys are walking to the tree line.
Yeah, so maybe not safe to go in there.
Oh, you think that'll happen again?
Do we get the feeling? Is there some kind of check that we can do to look at the grove to find out if the protections that were in place before are still in place?
You can give me, I would say perception at first from where you guys are, because it's not like you were at the tree line. It's in your vision, but you're 300 yards away.
Yeah, 25.
You look at the forest, Belladin, and it looks much the same. You didn't see the fog until you guys had entered the tree line. As you got in further, that's when it started to envelop you. Give me an Arcana or Nature check.
I love that nature is intelligence.
Who, Belladin?
I mean, I would point that out to Fenthwick if Fenthwick wants to help.
With a 15 perception and then Belladin helping you after with a 25, I'll say you can make that, Fenthwick. You point out wisps of fog rolling through the trees.
Yeah, but I would let you know, Fenthwick, that I could tell that it looks much the same, and then
You still see the shadows of full trees with healthy branches and leaves hitting the ground, but they're bare trees still, bleached completely white and dead.
well, without more information, Belladin would just remind the entire group of the dangers we faced in the grove.
Yeah, Fenswick, you can make that Arcana or Nature check.
26, nice.
Yeah, Fenswick, given the kind of mystical nature, when you enter the forest, you see no real change to those conditions. As I said, you still see the shadows of once living trees, and you'd figure if those protections and those entities were gone and no longer there, you'd probably figure that magical element would also be gone as well.
So probably not safe to go in.
I mean, that's up to you guys to decide. I mean, you figure that those, whatever you faced in the grove would still be there for you to face.
Seems that way.
Well, then we got to make some plan. They're coming. So what do we do? Pick a direction and try to avoid them?
Go behind a hill and you make a little, like we put a bunch of snow and you make a dome so it all looks like The dome snow.
The dome will blend in regardless.
I forget. What's our primary goal?
Well, right now it's not to die.
How long does it take to get the dome up?
11 minutes, unfortunately.
Yeah, they're going to be here in minutes. So Belladin would just say we should go towards one of the sets of wolves so we can engage them quicker, and so we're only facing one group at a time. Because if we go if we go perpendicular, then they're gonna come together, and we're gonna have to fight both groups, and we're gonna have to fight both groups if we stay here.
What'd you get on your initial perception check, Belladin?
20.
24.
4. Yeah.
So given you faced probably around 4 of these riders with a company of infantry with them in this battle, you're not sure if all these riders have dragon-blooded gems to be able to transform. Given what you heard in each direction, there's probably at least a dozen companies each way. This is an army.
Can your magic take us away from here, Fenthwick?
I don't have any more magic.
Not even under your hat.
Nope.
Weren't the eagles supposed to come back or wait?
Is that a DM question? Supposedly, yeah.
Can we see if there are any signs of the Belladin? Look yonder for winged beasts. Are there any signs of these creatures?
Anyone can give me a perception check if they like.
Oh, I rolled poorly. There we go. Poppy's got the eyes.
It's hard to see up through the storm. While conditions have improved on the ground for you to be able to see, looking up into the storm clouds and the blizzard still coming down, it's hard to notice much. Poppy, you strain your eyes. You see no silhouettes, no shadows in the sky. Core, in the mayhem of the battlefield around you, you spot off in the distance with your keen elf eyes what could be a patch of red in the snow and what you think could be feathers.
Or we'll explain this to Belladin and start moving.
Okay, let's go.
All right, I'm gonna wave my staff, pass without a trace. So as we move away from this battlefield that we just finished, we will not be leaving any tracks or anything else for them to follow as we haul butt in that direction.
Very nice.
Yeah, as everyone's footfalls go into the snow, you pick your foot up and the snow is undisturbed.
Very nice. Means... did anyone roll me that d20 before?
I could do it if no one wants to. There we go. Get it out of my system.
As you prepare to go, you hear a shout and a company of Crystal Blade infantry scouts seem to have found you. And we're going to roll some initiative real quick.
So this is my idea that I'm floating here. That would, if it works the way I'm hoping it will, is we just don't have to have a fight. Because we would just be running away and they would be moving at quarter speed. So they just wouldn't be able to catch up to us. It is only a 100-foot radius, but they wouldn't know that. And this also may not work because we're in tundra, so it's your call. Because I'd be using the one action version. But I can see there being an argument for there's no plants, really.
During the spring melts, there are certain areas of the tundra, especially you guys aren't super far north yet. Hal knows that near the spine, up near Folkmokborg even, near the Soulless Cliffs, things stay pretty cold. This section of Forheim, further down south, does see a little bit of a spring thaw. I am going to say, roll me your spell attack. Roll me a spell attack.
29.
Please describe how you cast this spell with the knowledge of the frozen tundra around you, but you know that deep underneath the ice and snow, buried in the frozen ground, there's always seeds of life.
So as the shouts of the scouts reach us, and we're moving towards the eagles, we're not leaving any trace in the snow, but it's clear that they've seen us. There's a moment where Belladin closes his eyes, and through the ever-present invisible cloud of spores that surround him, he feels a root system as his foot touches the floor, and there's like a flash of light and almost like a pulse, like a breath that goes through the whole root system of all these interconnected, frosted over plants, in the area that connect back to the grove and then extend out that are just hidden beneath the surface of the snow. And he breathes a word of power and moves his hand from the staff of the woodlands that he has, and there's a little bit of pollen that comes off of one of the flowers and falls into the snow and goes down and touches the floor where the inert plants are, and there's a rush back to where the scouts are, and all of the roots start to grow up out of the ground in a furious motion of growth, and start to cling to the legs of the scouts. And as they move towards us, they find that it doesn't matter if they cut at the roots or what they try and do, that they're clinging to them and holding them back as we run away.
Very cool. Yeah, you all see these scouts that they usually send these scouts ahead of the companies, and that means that the actual company can't be too far behind. But as you move forward, you see Belladin pause for a moment and cast his spell and buy you guys the time to make your escape. What would you all like to do?
Run in that direction that Core pointed out.
Hal starts running in a northeast direction to where Core had pointed out in the far distance would look like could be feathers in a patch of bloody snow.
Bloody snow. Oh, Jesus Christ. Then with another action, he's gonna locate our eagle friends within a 5-mile radius, the closest creature.
You once again cast from the staff that your mother's given you, Belladin, and you concentrate on the eagles that you flew in on, and you feel their presence in the same direction Hal is running. Maybe, you're not sure, maybe a mile out?
Yep. So he's Belladin's gonna say that we're moving in the right direction and that they're up above about a mile out. Just keep running. And if it takes more than an hour, he's gonna keep hitting pests without a trace, as much as is necessary as we keep.
So are you all running, or what's going
Yeah,
on?
I'm just following Hal.
Picking up the rear for the people that are on the ground.
Can I ask who to go ahead and look for the eagles?
Oh, and I would point directly at them for you, Poppy. I'd be like, they're right there, about a mile away, and point my arm so that way you could send who in that direction.
I believe you all have winter clothing and snowshoes that you bought. Now, snowshoes are great for traveling over the snow. They are not great for running over the snow. I need everyone to make me athletics checks, please.
Can I argue that that Poppy can keep her balance via her agility, so she could use acrobatics?
Can I just delete my roll because I am flying?
Yes.
Thank you, because I'm like, well, I'd be using my boots. I would not be on the ground.
If Poppy's dashing, she ignores the difficult terrain.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, nice. That's really cool.
Belladin, I would say, yeah, you don't have to worry about the snow. Right now, the storm isn't bad enough where it's affecting your flight.
Yeah, I'd be just above the ground. I wouldn't be that high.
Core is just hiding from all of you. Apparently, he's over it.
He's just gonna hide and let them find us and kill us, and then he'll sneak away.
As you guys are trudging through, you see Poppy lively running with her snowshoes over the snow. Core's having a little bit of a hard time, but Hal, you look back and you hear a voice in your mind say, "This will be the death of the halflings!" As you see Fenthwick struggling to get through a particularly high snowdrift that's probably twice the size of him.
I hate to be that guy, but can someone pick Fenthwick up?
Yeah, I can pick him up.
Like, can you pick him up?
Yes.
I'm not
Can I
strong
pick you
enough.
up, Fentwick?
No, I mean Belladin.
You can-
He's flying. Can you pick him up?
No, if you're
Absolutely.
carrying anything while you're flying, it slows you down.
Oh, it's not a broom. It's boots.
Uh-huh.
Oh well, I'd hate to slow anybody down.
I'll pick up Fentwick.
Yeah, let the strong guy do it, please. Not the druid.
Hal, you double back, pick up Fenthwick. Fenthwick, how much do you weigh? How much are you carrying?
How much am I carrying? I'm carrying apparently 110 pounds of stuff.
Plus, how much do you?
Plus, and I weigh. I should have it. I weigh 40 pounds.
40 pounds.
150
So 150,
pounds.
150 pounds of stuff.
I can carry 480 before getting it unencumbered. I have 170 right now, so
Nice.
So you guys do lose a little bit of time, as you do have to double back and pick Fentwick up and then cover the ground, as you guys were all sprinting forward as fast as you could before you had to look back and notice Fentwick struggling. So, because you guys did fail some of those checks, that you did lose some time. So going
Hey, if
forward
push
now,
comes to shove, there's always things in my inventory I can drop.
no, you're fine. He's fine. Hal picks you up, no problem, and doesn't even break his stride. But just having to double back and go back and pick you up, it's a little bit of time.
Actually, Poppy had a pretty good idea. Can we send our familiars ahead to the Eagles to bring them back
Yeah.
to us?
Good call.
You can now. Remember, they are Belladin. You got a sense that they're somewhere, maybe around a mile out from you.
the spell knows the exact distance and direction.
They are 1.172 miles from you.
Yep, and I say the exact degrees off of the horizon.
Yeah,
They are
Just give me coordinates.
6,743 feet and 11.5 inches in the air.
I say 2 degrees off the northern parallel. Let's do it. Let's go. I basically point directly at them. I mean, the funny thing is if they're flying, I would be pointing and then my finger would be slowly moving because they'd be moving compared to us.
Funny you mentioned that, Belladin.
Oh,
As you would cast your spell and you do point them out, you do see them moving, but they're not flying in a straight direction. You see them fly a little bit to the left, and then down, then up, and then a little to the right, and then back down, and then up, and then more to the left, and then circle, then back down, and then up.
maybe they're just riding that wind draft or the updraft. Let's send them. That's a great idea.
Are you guys continuing to run, or are you sending them out?
Well, both.
Both
Both? Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say sending them out while you stay stationary, or sending them out while you're running. So,
running. Yeah, and I was just gonna say we could. I don't want to tell you what you can do to your familiars, but you can give them like telepathic commands and stuff, right? Like,
Right. Just tell them, look, see where Baladin's pointing? Fly up there, get those eagles, bring them back. We'll be along this path. Plus, owls have keen hearing and sight, so.
Man, this is the first time I've used so many charges on the staff. This is wild.
So I assume you're all going at the pace of your slowest companion.
Yeah, we'd have to.
Are you guys slowing your pace and letting them go ahead, or are you keeping up pace? Because they're about 10. They can go about currently, I guess, no, 25. Yeah, they'll eventually start to distance them from you. So yeah, as you guys are running, Fentwick, you are now have a, let's say, owl-eyed view of what Poppy usually sees on Hal's shoulders, as you are now bounding across the ever-growing snow-filled tundra. You send your familiars out ahead. You're sending both familiars?
Might as well. Two chances.
Who will be probably, let's say, about 50 feet back from the other familiar.
As you are all running, eventually you lose sight of who, and you give them the command, what exactly?
Fly up to the eagles, get their attention, and then fly back this way and hope that the eagles will follow.
Yeah, I think the eagle. I mean, you had them out when we were traveling here, right? So they know that the eagles were with us.
You run for a few more minutes. Someone roll me a d20.
Whoever wants to next.
I'll roll it. Oh, another one.
Dude, it's so funny. And also, we have no idea if it's a 1 or a 20 that we want. He has not told us what the
Since you have
degree of
two-
success is.
Since you have two owls up there, can somebody else roll it at any time?
The skies darken further, and the blizzard picks up. This time, covering the entire area. Fenwick, you know this is no magical strengthening of the storm this time. This is the raw fury of nature. The wind picks up, the ice stinging your eyes and face as it flies through the air, the snow piling ever quicker. I need everyone, even those in the air and those who would ignore difficult terrain, as the hurricane strength winds of ice push against you. I need everyone to make athletics checks, and I will say that, yeah, it's a natural one, sorry. Athletics checks at disadvantage. Your progress grinds to a near halt as all of your company struggles against the worsening storm. Hal, you know, it's not so much the physical, it is the mental, that you know that one small error in these conditions and you can all lose each other in an instant. You're forced to stay almost shoulder to shoulder or shoulder to kneecap in some instances and carefully make your way forward at a much, much slower pace.
Alright, let's tie each other together and then keep going. Yeah, man, disadvantage.
Yep, I rolled a 0.
Yeah, okay. As you make your way painstakingly forward, inch by inch,
Tied together, pass without a trace on. Not that it's needed right now.
seconds feel like hours, minutes seem like days, until you feel like all you've known is the bone-chilling wind and stinging ice on your face. I need Poppy and Fenwick to give me dexterity saving throws for your familiars, please.
Great rolls.
Eventually, you can't see in these conditions, but you feel them returning into that space where you can communicate. And in that moment, you get a sense of extreme fear and sadness until almost when they're at your face, you see them fly through, like tumble almost through the air in the storm and land on your head, Poppy.
How's he looking?
A bit frozen over, ice clinging to all of his feathers. Again, he looks frightened. You guys not wait, but you look around, inching forward a moment. Fenwick, you don't feel the presence of Archie.
If who is frozen over, and we're waiting, Poppy's gonna cast prestidigitation on him to clean him, defrost him a little bit.
Well, what does who say happened?
Oh yeah, and I asked that too.
Images in your head, Poppy, of the storm, of it worsening, and then you see flashes of eagles and claws and blood, and then you feel that fear once more, and you see gleaming white scales, large talons and wings, and frozen air much, much colder and stronger than any storm could produce. And then sadness as you see a tiny puff of frozen feathers.
It'll be okay. I dismiss him, and then I relay that information to the group that I have a feeling there might be a dragon up there. I'm not sure if the eagles survived.
You get the feeling from who that wherever the eagles are, they are fighting.
Yeah, so they're kind of busy.
At this point, Belladin would suggest the Eagles aren't going to help us. We've got an army behind us following us. With Pass Without a Trace on and this storm, we should just pick a random direction away from the direction we were moving and find a place where we can make the dome. Because unless they have some amazing magic to find us in this storm, we should be able to get off of the line we were traveling that they'd be following us on and just find a place to lay low and just create the dome and have the snow cover us.
I'm okay with that.
Yep. Agreed.
Direction.
Would anyone like to give me a survival check?
21.
It's hard to really scout for a location that would fit your needs, Belladin, until you're almost upon it, but you do search around a little bit and you feel you found a pretty good spot.
Yeah. As long as we're away from that line we were traveling, so it'd be hard for them to find us. Because with Pass Out a Trace on and the storm, they can't see us, they can't follow our tracks, so it's more just getting away from... Because we didn't try and lose them after we ran away. We just kind of traveled along a singular path going in a particular direction. So if they kept following us in that direction, they'd eventually find us if we just stopped. So just, yeah, moving off of that line and finding a place and then hoping we can get the dome up in time.
Well, there's nothing actually says I have to be standing still to cast this spell. I mean, if it takes 11 minutes, yeah, it says the dome springs into existence, but I mean, I assume that's once the casting is done.
We also have to find a decent place to put it. It's kind of not on top of a hill or something, I think.
Okay. And then eventually Belladin just says, right here. And then, boom.
Now you make me want to find a spell that'll totally break that.
Storm Chasers. In an instant, you find yourselves in the warm, comforting confines of Bentwick's Dome. Instantly shielded from the buffeting winds and ice and snow. You slowly, it's almost painful at first, getting the feeling back in your fingers, your toes, your nose, your ears. What would you all like to do?
Collapse in exhaustion?
What time is it?
It's hard to tell exactly what time it is because you can't see the sun in the storm. Given how long it's been since your last rest, it's probably mid-afternoon.
We can do a short rest first while we all talk.
Yeah, and I'm gonna make the most of that too. I'm gonna short rest, and after the short rest, change into some type of like maybe a giant badger or whatever, right? Everyone's favorite wild shape, and then use the like maybe an albino badger to like create a tunnel for us to get out of this when it's time for us to get out, and then try and bury the dome. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, could you just dig down and dig a hole, and we could recast the dome inside the hole?
Oh, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. Yeah, yeah, yep. But yeah, let's do that short rest first.
But that hour does go by, and you feel some of the exhaustion bleed away as you're able to just breathe for a moment. And you all think what has transpired in just these past few hours. Hal, you especially. You know the location. The standard of the stray might be in your grasp. Lekirvarda, your people's true home. And what seems like an eternity and just a few seconds all in one, an hour has gone by. And at the end of that hour, Belladin wordlessly takes shape.
I would start digging like in a certain direction, kind of like downward and to where I know, because I imagine we did it like inside of a hill or maybe and I just start digging down in that direction, and then once I know I'm out of the dome, then I change into a giant badger and start digging and yeah, that's what I do.
Anyone else like to do anything?
The Poppy will summon Who again and start grooming him.
You all sit in the dome, knowing the adrenaline now leaving your bodies. You're almost too exhausted to get a good sleep, knowing that true rest will probably be a few hours away still.
As soon as I am done digging like a sufficiently sized hole to do another one, as a badger I make sure the snow is nice and compacted so it won't collapse, and then I switch back into my Belladin form and climb back into the where it's nice and warm, and because nobody's in that hole that I made, and there's no like heat transfer, it should stay fine. It shouldn't melt or anything. It's just basically compacted snow now, like a sphere igloo underneath the snow, and then I come back in the dome. And guys, I feel like all of us would be in such shock of just multiple harrowing combats over and over and over again. Like Belladin wouldn't have anything to say. He would just be sitting there in silence, enjoying.
Yeah, Hal would be just probably also in silence, just thinking about like his dad, his uncle, his grandparents. None of these people have ever been able to find this thing for years, and he's that much closer, so he's kind of visualizing it in his head, like completely his cold dried blood.
It really wasn't that bad. It was, just really one long battle,
You get blank stares back at you, Poppy.
No, it was that bad.
No, Cora's eyes are still closed. No stare for you.
Well, you know what the best part is of this adventure? All the friends you made along the way.
I thought you were gonna go the other way with it and say Folgers in your cup.
No, that's when you guys wake up from your long rest.
With our sister there? That's our sister? What? Yeah. Yeah, I think just a fugue state as Poppy's grooming who.
Fenthwick, roll me a wisdom saving throw for me, please. The hours pass by. Fenthwick, you know that the dome is going to dissipate probably before midnight. Well, 8 hours, let's say, yeah, probably just around midnight.
Well, before it dissipates, we should run out. Belladin should lead us to the hole he dug. We'll climb down it and then recast.
Okay, so are you doing it that right at midnight? Are you going to wake up and do it, or are you going to do it before?
I mean, we might want to just stay up until. It's up to you. You're the one casting the spell.
I mean, I'm not sure it matters. I mean, I'm pretty sure I have wherever the. I assume we're gonna have to leave the dome to get into the hole, and cast it, and once I leave the dome's gonna dissipate regardless.
Yeah. So what I did is I dug below and at an angle, and then made another dome-shaped area with a flat shelf. So there's just basically another dome-shaped area through a small tunnel.
Yeah, it's kind of like an egglet.
So as soon as you want, we could all just slide into that tunnel I made down, like literally a slide, because I compacted the snow so we could all fit. Because the Badger was large size, so the tunnel will be easily big enough for all of us to go.
It might benefit us to make the transition before nightfall.
Stay in the warm dome until there's about, time for it to change over, and then we all go down the slide and recast it.
Or you could just say that you made the dome you made the hole in the ground bigger than the dome.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I would have made sure there's enough space for the dome to fit, whether that needs to be bigger than the size of the tiny hut or not.
As you make your way into the igloo, well, not really igloo, but the snow cave dug out by Badger Belladin, Fenthwick recasts the dome, and you all start making preparations to take a much-needed
long rest.
night's sleep.
But as the new dome comes up, Belladin is going to go back to where the other dome was and just make sure it's completely blocked off. There's no like hole to the sky or anything. Make sure that it's solid over there, but kind of use that secondary area as like an idea of where the surface is, because when you're underground in snow like this, it's hard to tell what direction you're going. And he's going to go back into the tunnel that connects the two spaces and kind of close off the tunnel, so that way it looks smooth on one side where the other dome is, but then leave the tube and then go back into the dome. So that way, when we're done here, we can just go back to that tunnel and exit. But if someone were to find where we were before, there'd be no discernible way to see where we went. And do you want me to roll for that, like a survival or something?
Yeah.
I can do that. He's just paranoid at this point. Nice. 24. And then he'd probably get back in the dome as everyone else is settling down to go to sleep in the warmth, and that's what he's gonna do too.
And you all settle in for the night. Anyone going to take watch or no?
No, at least not me.
You all settle in for the night, wordlessly, exhausted, and sleep takes all of you almost immediately. Dreamless, deep. For most of you. Belladin, you find yourself walking through the swamps and bogs, the ablate pools, the hiss of bubbling acid, while disconcerting for most, hot, humid climate, dense vegetation, and occasional weathered stone remnants jutting out of the landscape, comforting and familiar. Your feet, finding purchase easily in the dry pathways, suddenly become slogged down. The area wetter and wetter, as you realize the pools of acid rising and spreading alarmingly. You hurriedly look around you for a path of escape, of safety, not only for yourself, but for your tribe. If this is happening here, is it happening everywhere? You need to warn the others. We need to get to safety. But suddenly those thoughts are pushed out Before you even know or can think what to do next, the pools splash against your ankles. You feel the stinging burn against your flesh. And before you can even finish a breath, you find yourself completely immersed. There's pain. That's all you can think. And then it's gone. And there's nothing. Not that there's no more pain in your body. You have no body. You have only this strange, vague sense of self and vast emptiness around you until you feel presence at your back if you still had one. Overwhelming, bristling, yet contained.
Do I get a sense that like is the power that's contained, is that the thing that I feel that's helping me, or the thing that's holding back the power that's helping me? Like something, am I feeling like I'm getting assistance from something?
You feel like you were being pulled towards it.
Do I get a sense that it is benevolent or malevolent, or just the pool?
Give me an insight check.
Well, holy shit, it's hard to do better than that.
It is hard to do better than that. It's strange. You've traveled most of this continent, and despite your looks, you've had a lot of experiences in your young life still, more so than most others your age. This presence, you felt it before. Not so grand or as immediate, but you've felt this way before. And you try to remember where you felt this, and then it hits you. As a young man in the Ablate pools, helping your mother as she acted as midwife to one of the other women of the tribe. You assisted her in the birth. And in that moment, first moment of you seeing that young baby, you felt this presence. Then your mind flashes again to a village of halflings in the Sage Petal Hills, where you offered your healing. And there was one middle-aged halfling man who you knew the disease was too far gone. No amount of poultices or potions or magic. There was a force undeniable that all of us, every mortal, must meet. And in that moment, as you saw this halfling man take his last breath, you felt this presence. You weren't aware of it at the time. Your subconscious was. You only noticed its presence now in this moment.
Yeah, I'm gonna just as he felt it during the passing of the man and of the arrival of the child, the furbolg child. He's going to try and attune himself and give himself to the cycle, because that's what he's always. That's what his tribe aligned themselves with, the protection and enforcement of the cycle and the natural order, and he's going to trust himself to it.
With that natural 20, because pretty damn good natural 20 to have, with especially being 29. As you open yourself up to this force, and you feel its presence wash over you, or at least what you think of you, you notice that when you felt it in those moments of your life, and the only way you can describe it is the force of a river after it's been rediverted, controlled, restrained, and you let yourself be pulled and drawn to this presence. And you don't turn because you have no physical head or body to turn, but you suddenly know that you are facing whatever this is. And in front of you, eventually, you see, in what is a void of nothing, emerge a large, of almost pure, blinding white light. And then a second eye opens, somehow deeper and darker than the void that surrounds you. And they stare into your very essence. There's nothing that these eyes do not penetrate and see. And in that, given that natural 20, you see both power, but also sadness, but most of all, rage. You are chosen. Free us. And you feel yourself pulled until the eyes engulf you, and you wake up. Roll me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Sure, yeah. That makes sense. This is where I'm gonna roll bad. Oh no, wow, I'm rolling good tonight. 19.
You take 6 points of necrotic damage, I forgot the number. You take the full 13 points still of necrotic damage.
Thank God I short rested.
And you look around where you were laying. You see small shoots of plants, tiny flowers, almost in a silhouette around where you were laying, shoot up, then wither and die in seconds.
Do I get the feeling that this has connection to the thing that I've been carrying with me the whole time? Like does that also warm up? Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You find yourself trying to fall back asleep, Belladin, shaken now more than by just the harrowing day that you all had and coming so close to death. But eventually you fall back asleep, and our focus shifts. You find yourself once again in rolling green meadows, a large mountainous structure off in the distance, and what you know to be the silhouettes of dragons. You hear a voice behind you. Have you thought about my offer, Fenwick Rivenstone?
I turn around. Who is it?
It is First Fang Terisu,
Ah,
the original owner and maker of your staff.
and refresh my memory. What was the offer? Fair trade.
He would answer some of your questions, and then you could go into another further agreement from there. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. Well, he's a long time dead, so I guess not much harm in telling him.
Have you thought about it then, Master Rivenstone?
Yeah, I've thought about it. Seems like an equitable trade.
So tell me, what has happened to my people?
To your people? I have no idea.
There are no dragon flights left in the land?
There are no dragons. Well, I guess now there are dragons. I've seen one. Before that, haven't been dragons for a long time. Yeah. I was about to say, I doubt there are even any elves still around who would remember dragons.
Elves. So, usurpers were victorious.
Well, I can't speak to that. I just know that there are no dragons. And the one we did encounter was not very friendly. Yeah, I mean, I vaguely remember we fought a dragon, we killed it, and then it just sort of disintegrated.
Understand.
I mean, you're asking me about really ancient history, so I just can't.
How did you see then this dragon then in your day and time?
So we'll just say I described the details. So I can describe the events that led up to that.
You and your companions defeated one of the masters.
Well, yeah. It wasn't easy, but we prevailed in the end.
Describe to me again its final moments.
And I will describe those moments.
That is not as it should be.
It did seem weird, but then again, never encountered a dragon before.
So it is at the behest of this Enix, the form that this Enix took. Say it is one of ice and cold.
Yeah, he does seem to have that as a theme, yes.
If you had to give his form flesh, which of the folk would he be? Like me? Like you?
Well, he's not like me.
You can give me a nature check. You think on it, and your mind gives flesh to Enix's form. And as you think of it, it's not too hard to do, because the more you think of it, the more you realize that he'd probably have a fair resemblance.
So he's what, an elf?
One of the masters taking orders from an usurper. Now, and have you seen more of my kin after this encounter? Have you seen...
By you mean, and he's what, Dragonborn? No.
And your tales, your histories, tell nothing of my people?
Nope, you're kind if they're around. I'm not aware of them.
They erased us from the very lands from which we were born. Very well, Fenwick Rivenstone. I thank you for this information.
How does this help you?
You have been alone in your memories for as long as I have, with the last thing you know being a question of the fate of your people. Wouldn't you want to know?
Oh, I see your point.
For this information, I will answer 2 of your questions. From there, you can think on perhaps brokering another deal that may benefit us.
Can I get back to you on those questions? I mean, if I only get 2.
You may. I am not going anywhere, and if you die, well, then I'll make a deal with the next bearer of the staff. But I will not wait long. So think on what you wish to ask. This might be the beginning of a beneficial relationship, Master Urbanstone.
Well, I hope so.
As do I. As do I. And as darkness takes your dreams once more, Fenthwick, you hear a voice whisper in the darkness. Deals, deals, deals. So many deals.
For the record, I got called the Chosen One, but I didn't make a deal with anybody.
Be careful, Fenthwick. There are many dangerous powers. There's other ways you can get help. As they say, better the devil you know. You feel your mind drift off to other unremembered dreams. As you all can take a long rest, Storm Chasers, you all groggily awaken to the beating of drums. As probably even before first light, although it's hard to tell in the lit dome underneath the snow, you see Hal in the corner, bright-eyed, playing a soft but vigorous beat to waken you all.
Oh my goodness. Don't I feel great? I probably smell terrible. I can't smell myself over the dried blood on all of you.
Yeah, it's a small space. The dome is, you are all, even with some of your smaller members, you are all comfy and cozy in the dome.
So what you said is we probably won't have the help for the Eagles, so maybe we need to spend this turn traveling to Folkmoteborg and then back to the hidden fortress. What is the weather like, Belladin?
Poof. What's the weather like?
Roll me a D100. You know what? It's been a while. Describe Belladin's druid craft.
As is the same with many of his spells, the air thickens around his outstretched hand, and from what seems to be like a little moat of existence, a little moat of light pops out, either a clear sky, a cloud, or a golden orb, a cloud, falling snowflakes, or so on and so forth. Whatever it is actually outside above us.
You get a light bit of snowfall on your hands.
It seems the storm has passed us for now. It's simply a light snowfall, and then he lets it go, and the thickening of the air in this diorama of weather dissipates, as do the snowflakes.
Right. Well, if we head northwest, we can stop in on Samal and then make our way back. Look at Fenthwick, unless your magic can take us.
Afraid the only place I know to take us would be all the way back down south.
Okay, then. Northwest it is. And we will start heading out to this plateau.
So before we head out, I'll do the 24-hour lasting water breathing. I know we're in snow, but just in case. And then just before we break out of the surface, I will also do a ritual water walk, because that will allow us to walk on top of the snow without falling in. So we won't need to use our snowshoes. And if it's safe, I'll just keep re-upping that. And I'll do Pass Without a Trace as well. So when we get out of the tunnel and the holes in the ground, we'll be able to do so without showing which way we went.
Considering the movement of enemy forces, do we have the time to go all the way to Folkmoteborg before heading towards the range?
No. We should just go straight there. And Hal will, instead of going northwest, he will go more west.
The help of Belladin's water walking, you would have found, even with the snowshoes, the large amounts of fresh snow and snowdrifts difficult. You're able to easily walk over them. However, they do still pose a challenge of having to go up and down them, as it's the large amount of snow has created quite a few drifts, and it reminds you, which you've only seen in the distance from one of the alpine villages along the sandstone range that you visited, but the vast sand dunes of the Sakine Desert. It almost reminds you of a much, much smaller scale and made of ice and snow rather than sand. But having to You imagine having to go up and down these snowdrifts. You'd only imagine the difficulty of travel going up the massive mountainous sand dunes in the Sakine Desert. You make good time as the weather, the first light brings the sun and the warmth from the frigid cold of night. A few hours into the morning, even the light snowfall clears and the skies part, and you see that sun shining down on you, illuminating, almost blindingly so, the tundra before you. Someone roll me a d20, please.
Before we get any further, I had one level 1 spell slot left, so I would have used that to give a good bear to everyone before we went to sleep, just so we had sustenance for today.
I've gotten most of my bad rolls out, I'm assuming, so go risk a roll. I did not get most of my bad rolls out.
It's so funny we're rolling so low on these rolls.
As you continue your journey west, everyone can give me a perception check. Cor and Belladin, you notice a brief momentary shadow go across the sunlit sky, high in the air, and you see far off silhouette circling, searching, and you know without a doubt it is searching for you. What would you all like to do?
Stop, drop, and roll and camouflage ourselves in the snow? I would know.
Cor and Belladin, you see this in the distance. What do you all like to do?
Unsling my bow.
Yeah, I'm gonna have my staff out. I'm gonna alert everyone else, and if my boy House says, "Hey, let's cover ourselves in the snow so it doesn't see us," then maybe we take that moment to hide if we can. Yeah, there's a dragon flying right there. What's the plan? Are we fighting? Are we running? What are we doing?
After yesterday, we shouldn't fight. We got a long way to go, and if they're crisscrossing across the tundra, I mean, you can, any Hal gestures to the snow around him. You can literally cover yourself in a very small amount of snow, like on a tundra, and you'll be invisible to anything up in the air. At least that's what my uncle told me.
All right, let's do that then. Unless then somebody else has a better idea. All right, let's wait for it to pass over then.
If everyone can give me stealth checks, please.
Pass without a trace is 100% on, so that will give you a plus 10 to your stealth roll.
35.
21.
So the lowest is 18.
That's a bummer. Looks like we're fighting.
You bury yourselves in the snow, and you feel more than see as you were covering most of your face, the chill setting in against your skin. You feel the gusts of wind from the powerful wings of this dragon as it flies over you, your position once, twice, and after the third pass, you feel it, the gusts bring it high airborne once again, and you hear a deafening roar. What would y'all like to do?
May I roll an insight to figure out what the hell that means, and if it means we've been found out?
What is your passive insight?
19.
You are pretty sure. I mean, it's been silent
Until now. Until it's right
until
above us.
now. Until after that third pass, and then it let out a roar.
So he's just gonna turn his head to the side, and well, mostly his beard just covered in snow, and mustache, and say through the snow-covered hair, "It's found us. It's above us. It's roaring. Do we fight or do we run? I mean, we can't outrun it. We need to fight.
Then let's fight.
We killed a dragon before. We can do it again. I don't think any of us can run faster than a dragon
Of
can
course, the
fly.
fastest guy in the group thinks we should run.
Yeah, the one who actually has a chance of outrunning it.
What are the chances of it landing?
Pretty slim.
You're traveling to the west, and it seems like it had flown over you, coming from probably the northeast, and then it is now flown back towards the east and banking to turn back towards your way. Probably, I want to say it's 200 yards out.
So I guess we're just running, cause I guess I'll shoot with my bow once and then use the rest of my movement to run. Try and piss it off to come down here.
I think we would split. I would run away from the group so we're not all clumped together.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're fanning out.
All right, you fan out, and Belladin unsling their bows. Anyone else like to do anything?
Yeah, I would have my bow ready.
How far away is he?
It was around 600
600
feet and closing around 80 feet every, 6 seconds?
So it's coming towards us or moving away from us? I forgot that.
It's coming towards you.
But he's not going to be here at this round.
No, it'll be a few rounds.
Yeah, it's like, what is a dragon flight? Is it like 60
80
feet?
feet.
80 feet. Yeah, so it'd be here in 3 rounds, 4 rounds.
Yeah, we're gonna dash for a round or two.
Yep, that's a good call. Yeah, I'm gonna keep my staff out instead of my bow. Then there's no point in trying to shoot it for me anyway.
And how far apart from each other are you all?
At least 200 yards, right?
At
You
least
know?
200 yards
several-
between each of us. Yes.
4 football
just-
fields at least.
we just all run in different directions.
Yep. Everybody just spreads out.
Something like 13 meters.
Yeah,
I think
at
that's
least.
sufficient.
I'd say 1
Okay.
kilometer.
Quarter mile.
Half a mile, might as well.
No, I'd say I mean I think it's funny if like we're all grouped together, right? We just get out of the snow, and then we each just like because we're all we still need to go west, right? So we're still running west, but then we just fan out, you know, just like 15 degrees off from each other. So as we run further and further, we're farther apart, and then once we hit maybe what do you guys think, like 50 feet or something like that? Then we just all run parallel because we don't want to be too far away in case we need to help each other, but we want to have some distance. So if there's some type of cone weapon or something else thrown at us that it's not going to hit all of us.
I will roll.
Oh, I did it already. I'm so sorry. 36. Sorry.
How? You know that maybe 30 minutes from a 30-minute walk from this location is a landscape and country that isn't quite so open. You know, there's some more hilly areas, rocky outcroppings, you know, more hardy tundra vegetation rather than quite the open tundra that you're currently in.
I will relay that information, and I'll point in the direction. Over this next rise, there's some rocky outcroppings, some ice caves. We might be able to get there before the dragon comes back around and unleashes its breath weapon against us. So, unleashes hail, frozen ice, and snow, and he starts running.
So you all spread out and take off, running easily over the light snow, the magic keeping your feet buoyant above its surface. As you glance behind you and see the once small flying faster, growing larger by the second, until you can see the spikes coming from its scales, shining brilliantly white in the clear sun. You see cracks in the scales of this dragon's hide. Almost faint blue glows beneath. You see blue blood dripping, some of its wing tattered and torn, almost as ripped by small talons. Large talons, but compared to its small talon.
So as we're all running, the wind pushing my hair back, it's got probably ice still just stuck all over it from trying to hide ourselves. Belladin looks to Hal, who we're all just kind of keeping pace with each other, and says, "This one seems to be the one the Eagles were fighting. I don't know if the Eagles escaped or not, but this one's it's battered. It's one of its wings is ripped. I don't. If we have to fight it, it won't be a full strength." And he kind of yells that out to the rest of them so that more than Hal can hear him say that last part, that it's hurt. Definitely does not tell everybody that we should stop trying to go for cover, because even a little bit of cover will help us in a fight against the dragon like this. You know, like you said, the breath weapon, Hal. So
Yep.
So we keep on running to try and hopefully have some beneficial terrain.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are we keeping level with each other or even with each other as we're running?
Yeah, because I'm at 35. I think you guys
Or is
are.
the fastest, probably.
Well, no, because Poppy will be the fastest. Even without the boots, she can bonus action.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
But it's dashing at 160. Poppy, even so, it'll overtake even Poppy.
Yeah. It's gonna catch up to with it.
No,
it's
the
just a
question
matter
is,
of.
I'm wondering
yeah.
if it's catching all of us at the same time, or is it catching Fenthwick first?
Yeah. or is Hal carrying Fenthwick again?
That's up to you all. You need to decide.
That's what you guys told me earlier was just sprint.
But to catch me, so I would be running in pace with Hal until because Poppy only knows doesn't know what's up ahead. She only knows what Hal is pointing at because it's I assume she doesn't see what's ahead. You know what I'm saying? Because of the level of the snow or whatever. Because I think Hal said it's over the next hill. So she'll be running in pace with Hal until she knows what she's running at.
You are all running at an even pace. Hal, you tell me, did you pick up Fenwick or not?
I'm thinking, like, if he's gonna be slow, then I would pick him up. And
I'm always slow.
Yeah, it's about half of what you'd be able to run.
I've seen him cast spells that make him run super fast, so I'm not really sure.
It's like, do I want to waste it? Why, oh, why? Didn't I prepare an expeditious retreat today?
Did Fenwick do the universal sign of uppies?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm running with my arms out. Like,
By the way, Fenwick, did you ever cast Find Familiar again?
no, I didn't.
So, someone roll me a d6, please.
I think Rick should do it because I rolled over his. There we go. Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
It's either good or bad.
Refresh the Beth weapon. Let's go.
Oh no,
Oh.
that would be it, wouldn't it? Oh no.
Someone roll me a d4.
There we go. There we go. Spread it out. That's not a
And divided
D4.
by 3?
That's not a D4.
At least you chose your own fate. I need you to roll a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
I think you meant to say Dex. I'm pretty sure.
That sounds about right. Pretty good.
Just one try, though.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Belladin, you remember those cracks and
Yes, sir.
that I told you? You see them emanating from a glowing rune on its forehead. And as it's flying, you notice scales even ripping off and flying in its flight and dissipating into this glowing blue dust for a moment.
Like that happened when we killed the last one. How it turned into dust. Okay. So it's like falling. It's basically falling apart.
Poppy, you take half of 70 points of cold damage.
Okay. 35 is still a lot.
So as this passes over you all, and you see Poppy get blasted with this cold cone of cold breath, what would you like to do?
How far are we from the semi-cover?
You estimate maybe 2 more passes. It's within 60 feet of Poppy, so
Yeah. So how many rounds it took to get to 60 feet of us?
8, I want to say.
All right. So Belladin watches Poppy all but disappear in a cone of ice, and immediately does this: cast Fire Shield on himself, so he now has resistance to cold damage.
All right, that's your action for this round.
Yep, he's also shedding bright light and dim light, so that may make him more of a target. But that's
Also
what he does.
Slowing
Who wants to go next for this round?
I will. How far is the dragon from us?
I will say because you guys spread out at least, I would say at least 30 feet apart from each other. Let's say 40 feet max speed of some of you.
Let me make it simple. Is he within 120?
Yes.
I will cast Bigby's hand right in front of him and attempt to grapple him. Is he huge or smaller?
It is still a huge creature.
Okay. That's fine. I can grapple a huge creature.
So do you roll?
I have never grappled this way before. It says it uses the hand's strength score, which is 26.
Holy shit! Is it just the strength score? Do you add your proficiency or anything?
I don't think because it's the hand's
Yeah.
score.
Yeah, that's it then. Yeah, you rolled the right thing. That's cool.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Now here's a DM question. I've grappled a flying creature. Does it fall out of the sky? Its speed is now 0.
I would say because when you cast Bigby's hand in front of it, Bigby's hand is holding it in place. You pretty much like caught it.
If that was my action, if I've got him grappled, then my bonus action is I squeeze.
4 points. What is that? 4 points of
Force.
damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, take it back. It's 2d6 plus my spellcasting ability. It didn't do that right. So that's 4 plus 4.
Nice. 8. That's double as good. And also, I would just want to say that you just named Hal's next character, Halcor.
I think he already
Pretty sure
has
that's-
one.
I'm pretty sure it's already been a character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not stopping running, but gonna knock a couple arrows.
I'm waiting for Hal D's.
Ah, that's not enough. I'm assuming.
No, it is not.
Second arrow, be better. Not better. Slightly
Just
better?
enough. Just enough.
Just enough. Okay. Great. Yep, and we're still running. Little sting.
I'm just gonna run towards the.
Okay. And you see it blow its cone of cold breath towards Poppy, and you all have that momentary moment of panic and fear as you expect to see just a frozen icicle standing still as you see Poppy still running as the fiery cold dissipates. Definitely covered in frost. Some even look a little frost. Some parts even look a little frostbitten, maybe, but not the icicle you were all expecting. Fenthwick, give me a Arcana check. And you're not really able to piece much information together in this moment, as you are more worried about survival. As this dragon releases its breath, as it starts to try to ascend and take to the skies once more and bank, you see. Fenthwick, describe your casting of Bigby's hand, please.
That's just a big blue hand.
You see a big blue hand suddenly appear almost out of nowhere and catch this dragon by the throat. And you see its body violently tug as its momentum is abruptly stopped. You all keep running?
I do, yes.
And once Poppy sees the cover, then she'll speed up.
This is kind of funny. Does Bigby's hand have like hit points?
Yes, it does. It's not a creature, but it has an AC of 20, and it has the same number of hit points I have.
I was gonna leave a moonbeam on the dragon just to be funny, but I don't want to hurt I don't want to hurt the hand it's grabbed.
Nope, no one seems to have stopped. Everyone seems to keep moving. The dragon is going to try to escape. Terrible rolls. You can roll for Bigby's hand once more. Yeah, contested strength roll. Yeah, athletics. So same thing for Bigby.
Anybody have inspiration? Do you have inspiration, Fenthwick?
No.
I do not believe anyone has
So
inspiration.
it's 13. Well, it would be, yeah, but it's 9 plus 4, so it's 13.
Remains the same. You all continue running. You see now over this next rise of frozen hill, you see now these large stone boulders, gnarled bush-like trees, and hilly landscape.
I'm gonna leave him a present before we run away, because I have 120 feet range on this moonbeam, so it's gonna slow me down. But I'm gonna cast moonbeam at a 3rd level, so this is just gonna keep hitting every round for 1 minute. It'll just stay there on the dragon.
So are we on to a different round?
Yep.
Oh, I take it back. It was my spell casting is added to the squeeze, not the strength throw.
Oh,
So
it did get out.
So it did get out.
Okay, then I will not moonbeam.
Let's see, it was there. Someone roll me a d6.
Not it.
D6.
Yep. Releases from the grapple and flies higher towards your flank, not towards you.
How far does he move? Is it more than 60 feet? 80 feet. Okay.
It moves 65 feet from you. It doesn't fly directly to you as it escapes from Bigby as you all glance back towards it as you're running. You notice it does fly towards your left flank and to the up.
So if it goes 65 feet, then Bigby can still go grapple it because it goes 60 feet.
Yeah, I can. Well, let me see something in grappling. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, I'll just keep running on my turn. No.
I'll move it, but instead of grappling, I'm just gonna hit him. Get an 18 hits him,
18 hits.
and clenched fist is 4d8.
As it veers off, you see flying towards it this large spectral blue hand as it suddenly just boom gets it right in its jaw an uppercut straight from above as you see the dragon's toothy maw fly up. More of these scales break off and turn to blue dust. What's everyone else doing?
We'll keep running until I get to cover.
Think Core's still strafing and shooting.
I will say it is now in your disadvantage range. 18. 18 hits.
12 piercing and second shot disadvantage. That'll miss.
That misses.
But, yep, just
One of its arrows pierces into the hide in the crack of its scale armor, and you see it grimace with pain and let out a angry, wrathful roar.
just running a little slower, reluctant to leave a angry, powerful foe behind.
Does it have a rider?
Give me a perception check. 12. It's with its twisting and turning, and the way it's flying right now. You can't tell. Someone roll me a d6.
Not it.
I'll do it. I probably pissed it off.
You see it fly up higher again, almost banking, trying to keep pace with you, but not actually flying to engage you. It seems reluctant to get near. One more round. I'm assuming it is out of range for most spells. Core, it is still within your range of disadvantage.
It ended up flying out of Bigby's hands range.
No, it's still within range of Bigby's hand.
Oh, well, Bigby will hit him again then. Okay, attack.
That hits. You see Bigby's hand this time. Its closed fist rams straight into the rib cage side of this dragon. It rolls in the air before it rights itself, and you see it cough up more of this blood, this glowing blue blood that once again, before it gets a chance to even hit the ground, dissipates into that fine blue dust before disappearing into the wind. As more of its scales fall off, the cracks growing, glowing blue, its eyes, glowing as well since the beginning, but that light starting to flicker, and it lets out a massive roar. 120 feet? No, you're not within range. It's fine.
So I'm shooting at disadvantage anyway. Do your dirtiest.
Yeah, no, you're not. It's staying out of that range, so you're not close enough.
All right. I think too juicy of a target not to try to take down. So still taking those pot shots.
This is still the same round where you just attacked.
Oh, never mind.
So, but you'll get a chance in a minute. But someone roll me one more d6.
Do I make it to cover?
After this round, you'll make it to cover.
I think Jason should roll.
I'll roll it.
I rolled last time.
Oh, okay, I wasn't here. Sorry.
It keeps its distance from you all. This time, flying even further, probably 100 feet now from where it was. It's probably almost 300 feet away from you now, because it's flying at an angle in the same direction you all are, so it can keep its distance, but still be within sight. As you all make it to the boulder-laden countryside, with possible plenty areas to either hide or take cover, the dragon lets out another angry, wrathful roar. Belladin, with your passive insight, is that a hint of maybe fear as well? As it banks and circles to fly, possibly make another pass, as you all look around for possible areas of safety and plan what you're doing next to deal with this monstrous flying foe.